I just stumbled across some information that I did not realize I had access to. And I'm glad I did because this is a nice deep dive into what long-term holders are doing for Shiba Inu. And what this has actually done from early November to late November is flip green. What does that mean? Is this a promising sign? Do you want to actually talk about something taking place on the charts in a short-term time frame as well? Could this indicate a little bit of relief ahead? And I do want to talk about a comment from a viewer that I thought completely misses the grand scheme of what's happening in crypto right now. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So obviously it's been a pretty quiet week to start. Not a whole lot going on. Yesterday was actually a decent day for SHIB, up 3.34%. Yes, we've obviously started red, just like most of the crypto market right now. And we're really waiting. We're waiting for this afternoon when we're going to get our Fed minutes. For those that aren't familiar, this is taking place at, 1 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern. And then later today, we're also going to be getting the NVIDIA earnings. So that's stuff that is probably going to cause some volatility in the markets. It has in the past. Then we have the jobs data tomorrow. We have GDP next week. So this market that has been pretty quiet to start the week doesn't seem like it's going to stay pretty quiet. And it's a question of obviously what direction is this going to head. We'll say 160 billion over the last 24 hours is pretty quiet. So I would expect things to start livening up here. And then it's a question of, can SHIB confirm this move? Because right now, if we actually look at the 1 hour chart in terms of Shiba Inu, we are actually building an inverse head and shoulders, right? Our neckline is right up here at about, we'll call it 4089. Just to make it nice and easy. Could we see SHIB confirm a breakthrough here? Will we get a rejection down? We'll have to watch and wait and see what happens there. We have had times recently where we did confirm this, where we did get our break to the upside, right? We've had times where we didn't quite confirm this, like we were seeing back here. So again, it's one of those things where it could go one way or the other based on the news that we received today. But I think something that a lot of people are going to like seeing is what long-term holders are doing. So this is actually the SHIB holder net position change. So this is long-term holders. Are they expanding the size of their portfolio or are they retracting, right? Are they reducing the size? And what we've seen throughout 2025 is some ebbs and flows, go figure. And what we actually saw to begin this back in January and basically into the start of February where we had our big liquidation event, right? We saw them actually reducing the size of their portfolio. Now that changed as we got into the deep depths of February, March, April, and they started expanding. And then they started reducing again back in June. Okay. And then basically July through, what was that? Late October, they were expanding again. We had a slight period here where they were reducing size right in late October. And then since November 6th on, they have been expanding. And this is actually to the tune of 1.9 trillion SHIB. So that's a very promising sign. This is why we're seeing SHIB right now set a pretty decent floor. It's because the long-term holders, the people that are thinking long-term, are actively accumulating and taking advantage of these dips. That's exactly what you want to see right now. You do not want to see this reduction in size. So right now, long-term holders are actually pretty confident, that's promising. I can't really complain about that. Is that right, wrong, or otherwise? Who knows? We'll have to see. And again, I'm not saying that SHIB can't go lower here, but it's looking pretty good. A lot of signs around the market are showing a potential rally ahead. Whether that's short-term or long-term has yet to be seen, or remains to be seen. Now, excuse me, I did want to talk about this comment because I thought it was really bizarre, and it really shows, excuse me, that a lot of people are missing what's happening in the crypto market. This is from Kenny Grady. Appreciate the comment, Kenny, even though you're trying to trash me. He says, it was quoting me, he said, 2025 has been a rough year for crypto, which I talked about yesterday. He said, you on drugs? Bitcoin ran to 130K. XRP ran from roughly 45 cents to $3, and there was plenty others. The comment is horribly off base. And I'm sorry, I completely disagree with you because yes, there have been some assets that have pumped and done well, but it's like we've talked about. Capital in the market has been rotating. First of all, let's talk Bitcoin because Bitcoin did set a new all-time high this year. It surged up from the highs that we saw in December, which was about 108K or so. And it did very well over the course of 2025. It's obviously down now along with everything else, but there's a big reason why. Institutional money. Institutional money over the course of 2025 has led us to have, apart from, I guess we could say what would that be? 75% of the months of this year have been aggressive portfolio expansion in terms of institutional money. I'm just going to hide the comments so you guys can see this. That's a lot of green. They have been buying and buying and buying. What we've also seen over the course of 2025 has been aggressive enterprise accumulation. Quarter after quarter after quarter, enterprises have been buying and buying and buying in larger and larger and larger quantities. More companies have been buying. Governments are building reserves around the world, right? It's not really surprising that Bitcoin did well. XRP, of course, did well over the course of this year. It didn't run from 45 cents. It was already up at $2.10 when it entered 2025 after that rip to about $2.94. So yeah, XRP had a decent year if you count the run to a new all-time high, but it's actually kind of flat to where we entered 2025. And what I will say here is people don't realize that, yes, capital is rotating around the crypto market, and just because this asset did well or this asset did well doesn't mean we did well here in 2025. First of all, if we think about the news, we've had 3 of the largest black swan events in crypto history. February 2nd, largest liquidation event in crypto history to that point. Late February, largest exchange hack in crypto history. Just back in October, the largest liquidation event in crypto history that actually broke market makers from exchange to exchange. Those are very significant events that actually kind of cause retail to stay to the sideline. But let's look at this from a number standpoint, because if we look at the total 3 minus USDT, which is all assets outside of BTC, Ethereum, and USDT, we didn't set a new all-time high in 2025, regardless of what this individual asset did or that individual asset did. So you're watching the same money rotate around from asset to asset and not push us into new euphoric highs. This is why we have not had a good year for crypto. This is why new adoption hasn't taken place, right? This is 2025. Although we've made progress, we haven't made progress, right? New crypto embrace, new crypto administration don't have the crypto bills approved yet, apart from the Genius Act, right? Big year for ETFs in terms of altcoins. Excuse me. Just starting to see some of those altcoin ETFs approved. All right. So no, 2025 has been kind of a waste of a year, if you will. It's set us up for some really good things. And I think that we're getting to now a point where there is a lot of things to be excited about. Again, with the ETFs, with these bills actually being in Senate for approval, right? With liquidity expansion taking place around the world, with the Fed about to shift from QT to QE. These are all really good things, bigger, longer term macro. But no, 2025 has been a garbage year. Every time it seems like we're making progress, we take 5 steps back. And here's what I will say is risk on assets have really been beat up bad. SHIB has been beat up bad, right? And the reason why is that, sentiment is in the tank. And again, you have the same money just looking for the next big thing, the next shiny toy object. It's a reason why we've seen, Toncoin surge up and then fall back down. It's why we saw, what's the other one? What was I thinking here? Sui surge up. It's outside the top 20 now. Aster surge up. Not in the top 20 now. There's a lot of things that have kind of come and gone, if you will. And it's because people are bored. They're looking for the next big thing. And until we get higher retail confidence, until we start getting some new adoption, that's kind of the world that we're stuck in. And I think that 2026 can bring some of that new adoption into the space, especially with the Fed policy changes. But that is what you need to understand. It's not about, BTC or XRP. Those 2 assets don't mean that we had a good year this year. You got to think bigger. You got to look much broader, right? So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're seeing great things for SHIB still on a fundamental level. Love to see the expansion, and hopefully this is something that can really, really accelerate here as we close out the year. But have a great day. Share your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.